Okay, unit 4, okay, ratios and proportions should be pretty easy. So 3 over x equals 2 over 3. So we know that 3 times 3 is equal to 2 times x. So I could just find 3 times 3, which is 9, and then divide by 2. That's 4.5. Okay, now on this one, I know that 2x plus 1 times 4 is equal to 5 times x plus 2, but I can't just cross multiply and divide. So what I need to do is label it A, B, C, and D, because 2x plus 1 times 4 is equal to 5 times x plus 2. Okay, that's a D right there. So A, B, C, D. Okay, so A, 2x plus 1, and then B is going to be 4. C is 5, and D is x plus 2. Okay, then you apply the distributive property on each side of the equation. Okay, you got a plus there, so you have to distribute the 4. So I'll go 4 times 2x, and then 4 times 1. So it would be 8x plus 4. Now over here you got your plus, so 5 times 1x, 5 times 2. Drop your plus. And I don't care if you're writing this out over here. 5 times 1x, 5 times 2. 5x and 10. So 5x and 10. Now you got x's on opposite sides, so you got to take one of them out. I'll get rid of the 5, so I would minus 5x. This is going to be 3x plus 4, and over here you got 10. Okay, so we have x just to that side, so times and plus, so minus 4, minus 4. 10 minus 4 is 6. Divided by 3. 6 divided by 3 is 2. Okay, number 3, what's 25% of 144? So this is a proportion where the percent is over 100%, and then is over of. So after of, we have 144. We do not have our is, but we know that 25 times 144 is equal to 100 times x. 36, okay. Okay, 80% of what number is 20? So you have 80 for the percent, and then is over of. So after of, you see the word what. So that means you don't have of, but you have the is. So 80 times x is equal to 100 times 20. 100 times 20 is equal to 80 times x. So divide by 80, 25. Don't need a percent on that. Okay, what percent of 36 is 96? So this time what I'm missing is my percent, so that's what I don't have. After of, it says 36. I do have my is, 96. So I take 100 times 96 and divide that by 36. 266.6 repeating. Now you can get percents that are higher than 100, and that's okay. Okay, find the side length of x. So we have 10, 14, 8x. So I put 10 over 14 or 14 over 10. It doesn't matter, but then I line it up with its similar side. 10 to 8, and then 14 to x. So I know that 14 times 8 is equal to 10 times x. So 14 times 8 by 10, 11.2. Okay, convert 4 meters to feet. 1 meter is equal to 3.28 feet. Now, this is the first ratio, 1 meter, 3.28 feet. So if that's the case, I'm in a good position to find 4 meters, how many feet that is. Okay. So 3.28 times 4. It's equal to 1 times x, so divide by 1, it's just 13.12. Okay, story problem time. A lot of story problems in this one. Student can read 7 pages of a book in 10 minutes. How many pages of the book can the student read in 30 minutes? Okay. Okay, so I line my first box. You got pages and minutes. That should be, you should be able to know which one's X, which one's Y. The time's always X. X is minutes. Y is pages. So pages per minute. We don't know the pages per minute. That's a question mark. So I go make my table without it. I just don't go 0, 1, 2. I put minutes for X, pages for Y. I go 0, and instead of going to 1 and 2, I block that off. So 7 pages, 10 minutes. Those go together. Then 30 minutes, question mark for the pages there. But if you read for 0 minutes, you wouldn't have read any pages. So when the Y starts at 0 with the X, that's proportions, okay? So remember, Y, X, X. Y goes over X every time, okay? So again, the Y is your pages. Put labels just to further emphasize it. X is the minutes. Okay, 7 pages, 10 minutes. So 7 pages, 10 minutes. And then 30 minutes, we don't know the pages. You can put a variable or leave it empty, I don't care. But 7 times 30 is equal to 10 times the variable. So 10 times 30 divided by 10 is 21. Put it there and there. Okay, number 9. This one's a tough one. Chad and Jack are painting a house. Chad can paint one house in 6 hours, and Jack can paint one house in 5 hours. If these guys want to paint 2 houses for the day, how many hours will it take? So you've got houses and hours. Times X, houses is Y. So per. Houses per hour. We don't know the houses per hour, okay? But there are 2 tables because there's 2 guys, okay? But we are not going to make 2 lines, and we don't have to, which is good because on this problem that would be a nightmare. Hours is X, houses is Y. Okay, so 0 block can't do the 1, 2. So we know Chad can do one house in 6 hours. We know Jack, the other table, he can do one house in 5 hours. Well, they want to paint 2 houses for the day, but that's together, so don't put it on either table. You write 2 houses, okay? And we're trying to find the hours that go with those houses together, though. But if you didn't work for any hours, you're not going to get any houses, and likewise for this. So it's proportions. I just need to add another ratio into the proportion, okay? So, remember the Y's always go on top, okay? So remember, Y is the houses from over there on the table. And X is the time, the hours. So we have one house in 6 hours, okay? And then the other guy, he can do one house in 5 hours. Now, a lot of people get confused of where to put that 2. Well, it's not the time, okay? So the 2 goes up here, and I have to find the X myself. So I add those together as fractions, okay? So we add them as fractions. 1/6 plus 1/5, okay? Okay, so ABC, 1 ABC 6 plus 1 ABC 5, and that's going to be 11 over 30. And now those have been added to get 11 over 30, okay, and then 2 over X. So you're adding these together as fractions. So 30 times 2 is equal to 11 times X, okay? 60 divided by 11 is, you can put 5.4, 5.5, 5, 6, whatever, okay? So 5.4 hours. Remember, 2 houses, that's the Y value. That has to go on top. It's a house that goes on top, hours on bottom. That's why you make that. Okay, percentages, story problem. 60% of the seniors in a class plan on attending a college fair, attending a 4-year college. There are 200 seniors in a class. How many seniors plan on attending a 4-year college? So if the percent says of after it, that means it goes over 100, and we form a proportion equal to another ratio. Okay, this is always the total. But the top is those that plan on attending a 4-year college. I know that's a long label, but sorry. Okay, so total, and then the actual number that plans on attending a 4-year college. How many students plan on attending a 4-year college? We don't know, okay? It asks that. How many seniors attend a 4-year college? So we don't have that. We do have the total, 200. Okay, so I cross multiply and divide. 60 times 200 is equal to 100 times x. So I got 120. And the label would be seniors. How many seniors? Okay, number 11. 1/8 of the letters in a document are the letter E. A document contains 2,800 total letters. How many letters are E? 1/8, it's like a percent. You just put 1 over 8 now. And 8's the total. And then the 1 represents the part, that's letter E. Or letter E. So total R letter E. Okay, how many letter E's do we have? We don't know that. So we don't have how many are letter E. We do have the total, 2,800. Okay, so cross multiply and divide. 1 times 2,800 divided by 8 is 350. So you're going to have 350 E's. Okay, number 12, gas currently costs $2.09 per gallon, but is expected to increase 15% over the next month. How much will the gas be after it increases in price? Okay, now the percent this time does not say of, so don't line it up above the 100. Okay, increase, that means plus. So, what equation do we have to go to? Percent times before amount equals the after amount. So the percent we need to increase by 15. So I take 100% and I add 15%. So that's 115%. Now you need to make that into a decimal to put into the equation, okay? Because you're not putting it over 100, you make it a decimal. 1.15. Okay, now we're finding the after. The after is the x. And then before is $2.09. And then x is by itself, so you just do the operation on the other side. You don't have to use opposite to get rid of anything or nothing like that. So 1.15 times 2.09, and I got 2.4. Now it's a muddy amount, so put 2.40. Okay. So 240. Okay, last problem. There are 2 cars that travel for this, cross this garbage out. Okay. This is the only one that matters. Answers down at the bottom. There are 2 cars that travel for the same amount of time. One car travels at an average speed of 50 miles per hour, while another travels at an average speed of 58 miles per hour. One car travels 120 miles further than the other car. How many miles did each car travel? Now this is totally different kind of problem. Distance, speed, time. So you're going to make a table, split it in half horizontally. And then you're going to have the fast car and the slow car. Then you're going to have speed. Speed is your miles per hour, okay? You're going to have your distance, and that's just miles, how far it traveled. And then your time, that's your hours, which you don't really know anything about. So the speeds, well, the fast was 58, the slow was 50. Cross those out. Distance miles, I see 120 miles, but it says further, so that means the faster car went plus 120. Don't just put a 120 and leave it. He went, now what plus 120? We don't know, so I need a variable, okay? I'll use x. So this here would just be x without the plus 120 then. That's how you write two unknowns where you know one is more than the other by a certain amount. Okay, then time. You don't know anything about time. You know that they're equal. And you know that time is distance divided by speed. So we have stuff we can put for the distance and the speed, but we can't actually divide. So the distance is x plus 120, and the speed is 58. The distance is x, and the speed is 50. Now line those up into a proportion. And then solve it, okay? Because you know that x plus 120 times 50 is equal to x times 58, but you can't cross multiply and divide. You apply the cross products. A times b is c times d. So a times b, c times d. So a is x plus 120, and then b is 50. C is x. D is 58. Now, the side with the plus sign, we got to make our distribution. Okay, 50, 50 to 1x and to 120. So that's 50x on that side. And then 6,000 on the other side. The other side, you really don't have to distribute, okay? Because you don't have a plus, it'd just be 58x. Okay, x is on opposite sides. Well, let's take one of them out. Don't get rid of that one because then you don't have anything to go on that side, okay? You take out the 50x. So this side you got 8x, and over here you got 6,000. Okay, now all you have to do is divide by 8. Don't have any plus minus going on anymore. So it's x. 6,000 divided by 8 is 750. So then you come up here to find your miles. You go up into the distance and you put 750 for x, both of them. So 750 plus 120 is 870. And then the other one is just your 750.